Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. Today's topic is going to be a little different than normal. Well, I'll just show you. We have a new toy here to play with. I just kind of want to go over this a little bit. I've seen on Facebook and YouTube that there's a lot of guys interested in these and don't know really which model to buy. Don't know really a whole lot about them, so we're just going to kind of go over this one a little bit and hopefully tell somebody something they didn't know about it. So first of all, this is the AGT Industrial Mini Excavator. I always say skid loader or skid steer, but this is a mini excavator. The model there on the side, if you can see that, is DM12X-C. This is a brand new unit. It's a 2024 1 ton. The DM12X-C, the difference between like the H12 or let's see, there's another model, the QH12. The difference between those and this one is this one has the pilot controls. So you'll notice here it's joysticks on each side versus the two arms up here in front. It also has the swinging boom. So you see down there on the side, there is a hydraulic cylinder down there, so you can move the boom side to side without moving the rest of the unit. And let's see, there was the actual hydraulic thumb. The hydraulic thumb here, so it's already installed, already plumbed, already ready to go. So those three things there are what's different than the other 12 models. This one's going to cost you a little more. Purchasing this one from AGT Industrial, which is based in Chicago, this one cost me $7,500. That's to my door. It also has the Briggs & Stratton engine on it. I took this cover off here just a minute ago so I could show you all this. That's really all I've done to it since I got it here. I drove it from right there. It comes on that pallet. Drove it from there to here and decided to check fluids before I do anything with it. So I've heard a lot of guys say that the hydraulic fluid in these looks a little milky. So I just wanted to show you that. Mine kind of looks fine. It doesn't look milky. I was just on this here just a second ago, kind of playing with it just to see what it does, and everything moves. It's got a light here on the boom, which is actually very bright. I'd say my only complaint so far, and like I said, I've only had this just a few minutes, is it basically comes wrapped in a giant trash bag. That stuff there is no, I mean, it's no thicker than a trash bag. So it comes wrapped in that. So mine had, you'll notice there on the back plate, it's got some scuff marks from shipping. Other than that, I haven't seen anything wrong with it. Everything seems to work. It does have the Chinese grease fittings in it, so I'm probably going to swap those out so I can grease it regularly. Here you can see a better view of them, or see if I can get an adapter for it. I'm not sure which, but other than that, it's got the blade on it. Another thing, when they shipped it with the blade down, which went over the front of the pallet, so we couldn't get pallet forks under it to move it to the edge of the semi. So we basically had to pull it to the edge of the semi with my skid steer and then unload it from there. Another thing for you guys to know is when they deliver it, they cannot use a lift gate because of the length. They can't turn it in the truck to get it on the lift gate to get it to ground level. So you guys will have to have a forklift or skid steer or something like that to get it off the truck. I have a Case 410 Series 3 skid steer, and it's rated for 2,000 pounds. And I actually took the bucket off the front of it. Actually, I can show you because it's still on there. I took the bucket off of it and chained it to the back of the skid steer so that I could pick this thing up. So it says in the manual it weighs 2,200 pounds. My skid steer is rated for 2,000 pounds, and with the bucket on the back as a counterweight, I picked it up off of there and set it on the ground. However, once I got it on the ground, I could not get it back up off the ground, so I had to I could get the skid somewhat up off the ground. I just couldn't tilt with it, so I pretty much had to drag it from the road to my barn. But other than that, seems to be a nice unit. Everything's metal on it. Cage is, you know, it's there. It's enough to keep you dry. I wouldn't want to roll over and expect it to protect you, but other than that, you got your blade controls here. This moves the unit front and back. This pedal on this side does nothing. It's just kind of there. This pedal on this side is your thumb, open and close. You got your boom controls, your bucket controls. Also, there's red buttons on here, like on this handle here. If I press the red button, then move it side to side, that swings the boom. So if you get a model that the boom doesn't swing, you're probably not going to have that. There's places for switches here. However, there's no switches. The armrests are kind of cheap, but they're adjustable. Back this off and you can adjust them up and down. There's a hour meter there, shows the battery and the hours. 12.7 volts and 0.8 hours on there so far. On this side, you got the electric start, choke, throttle control. It's got the push button, then you move it to wherever and it locks into place. It's kind of nice. Again, this one adjusts. Here on your switch controls, you have a light. Probably it's got to be on for the light to work. Let me see if that'll come on now. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so it's an LED light. Pretty nice. So it lights up down there where you need it. Also, this switch here is an unlock lock button for all the controls. If you lock it, these will do nothing when it's running. Unlock it, then you have control of everything again. So very easy to start. Something else I read about this model, I'm not exactly sure what they've done to it, but they have done some type of a revision for cooling purposes to keep the unit cool while it's running. Apparently they were having some issues with overheating, so they have done something here to remedy that according to the advertisement. Seats adjustable. front back, I did notice on mine, let me put that back forward, and it's got these little wing nut type things here to keep this down. Mine is missing one, so that probably fell off during shipping or whatever, but there's your tank fill for your fuel, which isn't in the best of locations, I don't think, or they could have plumbed that, you know, to the back or something to make it a little easier, but yeah. So what else? Come back and get that. It's got a pull start in case your electric start doesn't work. The only other thing that I've noticed on this so far that it's not really the best type of situation is to access this. You got to pull the back cover off, which is 2 bolts up top, 2 bolts on the bottom there. It'd been nice if that had been a hinge door to check fluids, stuff like that, but you know, we can work on that later, I guess. Check the oil. Oil's good. Hydraulic fluid's good. They give you just about enough gas to get it in your barn. So other than that, everything looks good on it so far. I did hear, or I've read about somebody saying that some of these units only have the 2 big drive wheels under there and nothing in between. If you can see down there, this actually has the 2 big drive wheels and then the 2 smaller wheels in the center. So I think that's a plus. So I'm kind of excited about it. I got a job to do with it this afternoon, so we're going to try it out right off the bat and see how everything goes. If I didn't tell you, this is a 1-ton unit. I did also notice that there's not really any counterweight back here, so that may be something that, you know, somebody smarter than I am can manufacture. I might have to take some measurements off of this and see if I can get somebody to make a counterweight or something that might hang back here. But other than that, $7,500 versus $100,000 or $30,000. We're going to try it out, see how it goes anyway. So I will keep you guys informed. If you have any questions, comment below. I will respond back to you. If I know it and you ask the question, I will gladly tell you, because this is a trial for me also. I've never owned a mini excavator. I just got some little jobs that I need to do and thought this might come in handy. So we made the purchase. So as long as shipping goes, I will tell you one thing, that when I bought this company is based out of Chicago. However, this actually came from California. I watched when you place the order, they'll give you a tracking number. I watched it, I was tracking it. It came from California. I'm in Ohio. It went from, I'm close to Dayton, Ohio. It went from California to Columbus, Ohio, where it sat for 5 days until I called them. And they, no, I'm sorry. It went from California to Columbus, from Columbus to Dayton, and then it sat in Dayton for 5 days until I called them and asked them, because the tracking number shows a delivery date, so I kept watching for it and it never show up. So that date got changed 3 times. So I finally called them. They said, well, we got to schedule that. So I said, okay, let's schedule it. So they brought it out the next day. The unit itself, the height of it would not fit inside a normal, is what they told me, a normal semi trailer. So they had to come out. They actually had it scheduled, and then they canceled that because it wouldn't fit in the truck, and rescheduled it the next day with a truck that had a lower profile on it. So then they delivered. So it actually took about 12 days to get from date of order to me. So I mean, that's not horrible. It's just, you know, they tell you when you buy them that they'll ship within 5 days, so you kind of expect it within 5 or 10 days. But so it took a little longer than what it should have, but that's not their fault. That's kind of in the shipping area. But we're going to try it out, and we'll let you know. So if you have any questions, again, comment. If you want to see further episodes with this or any of my Ohio content, please subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one.